Or do you think your experience with She Jumps has made you more confident in leadership roles outside of just being in the outdoors, like in other ventures of your like career or your life and anything like that?
Good question, Riley. I think we should both answer this one, but I'll start us off. And I would say 100% yes, for sure. I volunteer in a variety of different ways with the Appalachian Mountain Club and with Share Our Strength and like other organizations that need volunteers, and like a place where I can share my skill set. But She Jumps is the only place that actively invests that I've experienced in the volunteers in a way that is like pretty above and beyond. I'm actually not really sure how the board and the executive director manage that, but there's all sorts of growth and development and leadership opportunities provided to us, whether it's, you know, leading a class or an event, but also just like personal development opportunities. And we get to meet people from all over the country and, you know, in the industry, outside of the industry. And it's really provided a platform for, I think, us as women to come together and say, yeah, like we take up space here and we have, you know, something valuable to offer. And that's been really important to me, I think, as I develop as a leader, like not just at my job, you know, or not just like in my personal life. It's something above and beyond that. Really good question.
I love this question, and I love what you said, Jamie, too. And there's something about the structure of the organization that like keeps it so that, you know, it's like an investment in the workforce to make sure that like volunteers are fine. And I love that goes into the strategic plan also too, to like ensure that the volunteers feel like there's an investment in them, and also like Jamie, there's a lot after. I've worked with a lot of volunteer programs, and we're not usually teaching people like how to like use the graphic stuff and like do, you know, like asking them to take on as much as the She Jumps volunteers take on. So it's pretty incredible. And I would say, you know, in my experience too, at the governance level, like absolutely. First of all, the board is all like people who identify as women, and that's pretty unusual for like a nonprofit leadership structure. And it can be like, I think as women, we're all pretty familiar with like heavily male dominated spaces. And so it's a space to get to kind of try out different ways of being, you know, where you're at like at the decision making level, so you can kind of be your whole self, and you can share like that in terms of understanding like your whole self as a leader. Like it is really, really powerful. Yeah, and I think we need more examples of those kinds of spaces. And for myself, like I co-chair a committee, and just using that opportunity to develop like what's our agenda, what's our plan, what's our roadmap for what we want to accomplish, like in line with the other committees, in line with the full board, in line with like what everybody's doing at the staff and volunteer level. It's really cool to get to experiment with ideas of how to move things forward, and how to talk about things that sort in a way that kind of makes sense and like bridges the like super male dominated like business world like this like empowerment space, you know. So yeah, I feel like it definitely benefit from She Jumps in terms of my own leadership development.